Alright, so I've got the reflector here in the bottom center of your screen. This is probably going to be one of the hardest things to kind of explain because I haven't got a multi or a split screen view to explain it. But I've already installed a photocell that I'm testing out, see if it works. The plastic cover that covers the wires that goes up to the next gen box and everything, I've taken it off of the other side. I usually use it because when I come out on the lanes, I kind of do what I can with what I got in emergency. I don't carry rags or nothing with me, so I'll pop the photocell cover off and use it we're zeroing in. We're trying to align the photocell. So what I want to do is I want to cover the old photocell or the old reflector, because what it is, the new photocell should be emitting about a baseball size light or pattern that's going to send back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this card. I've got a flat surface. I got just one of our game cards from an arcade, and I put a white reflector on it. We've got you can use orange, but they say not to use red. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this card in from the side, and as soon as the red light on the photocell shuts off, I know that will be the leftmost side of the beam. And then I'll slide it in from the bottom, and as soon as I see the red light cuts off, then I know that this is the rightmost side, or the bottom side of the beam. Same thing with the top, and same thing with this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an image of where that beam is centered at, and then I'll know where to adjust it from that point. Another tip or piece of advice: if you got a photocell that's giving you issues and it seems to be centered up, but you check the size of the beam, if you got a size of a beam that's not about like a baseball size, then something's probably going wrong with that photocell itself. Sometimes I'll find photocells that have a beam about the size of a golf ball, and if that's what's being output, usually you'll get a lot of the sweep arm dropping and hitting balls, or it'll drop whenever somebody on the lane next to it is bowled, just because it's such a small spot and it's so sensitive, it doesn't cover the whole reflector and giving it a whole signal. That might not be true, but that's what I've come to find in the past. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and get set up to where you can see this alignment happen. Alright, so I tried to do something a little special here for you. I got a mirror up there as a reflector. Don't worry, it's not going to affect the ball detect. So you can kind of see the red light in there. I'm going to put this reflector up in front of it, and you should be able to see it disappear. Let me get where I can. Alright, so the light's disappeared. See, I'm way out here. You can see it flashing in the mirror itself. That's actually back behind us is what I got it focused on. So I'm trying to show you as I come across where my marks are to the outside of that photocell of the beam image itself. I'm going to get some markers here, kind of explain this a lot easier for you. Okay, so we're going to take the card with the reflector, and I'm going to slide it until I see it disappear. Okay, so right there at the edge of this reflector is where it's just now hitting that photocell. Right there. So I'm going to put I don't do this normally, I'm just doing this for your benefit. So right at the edge of that orange, that's where the photocell is aimed at. See, once I cover that orange, now I'm going to come in from the bottom. Okay, right there at the edge of that, that's where the bottom of the beam is. So I got a second piece of tape to judge that with. I'm going to come up right when that light disappears, so my photocell bottom somewhere in this area. Alright, now we're going to see where it's at coming down from the top. I'm way up here for the top part. So we'll just say it's right up here at the edge of this. So if I come down from the top, red light disappears behind me. So it's actually up higher than that. It's actually right up in here somewhere. Alright, and now I'm going to come in from the side. Right about there. So as you can see, we've got an image that's projecting maybe bigger than a baseball. Stuck it too close. Alright, like I said, I don't do this normally with the tape. I'm just doing this for your benefit to understand what's happening here. Right about there. So yeah. So that's where our marks are at as to where it's setting the photocell. So if you project these lines a little bit further out, you're going to see that it's actually creating quite a large image. It's taking up all of this section right here. And as you can see right now, it's lit up in the background, but when I put this up, that red light disappears anytime it gets in there. So now what I got to do is I'm going to adjust screws on the other side to move this beam over to here. That's what I got to do now. Now that I visually kind of know where it's at, so I'm going to take you to the other side and I'm going to show you which screws I tighten, and hopefully this will be understandable to you.